Jake and I had a tradition. Indian Mounds Park in St. Paul, Minnesota was our escape, our sacred spot where we could smoke a joint, gaze across the Mississippi River, and forget the world. We had been coming here for years. As we sat on the old bench at the park's peak, we began our usual conversation, immersed in nostalgia. Man, remember the first time we came here? Exhaling a cloud of smoke into the cool autumn air, his eyes fixed on the distant lights of downtown. Yeah, you got stood up at homecoming sophomore year and called me up. You were so heartbroken. We shared a laugh, reminiscing about our teenage adventures. This place had seen us through thick and thin, and tonight, it was just another chapter in the books. Jake started rolling up a blunt, and I let my gaze wander. It was a crisp, clear night, and the city lights sparkled like distant stars. The city was alive, and we were alone, sharing stories and secrets. Then it happened. A faint chant, like an echo from the past, carried through the night air, whispered to us from the heart of the park. My eyes widened as I turned to Jake. "Did you hear that?" Jake raised an eyebrow, skepticism in his eyes. "Hear what?" "I'm not joking, man," I said, trembling. "I heard a native chant, and it wasn't in my head." Jake chuckled, thinking I was messing with him. "You're just high, Alex. There's no one out here." As he continued rolling, the chant returned, stronger this time, accompanied by distant drumming. Panic welled up inside me as I grabbed Jake's shoulder. I heard it again, and it's closer. Jake, now more intrigued than doubtful, strained to listen. The eerie sounds of the native chant grew louder. The tension in the air was palpable, and the mounds looked different in the moonlight. Jake finished rolling the blunt but didn't light it. We sat in silence, the chant and the drums drawing nearer, weaving an intricate and mysterious tapestry in the night. Our camaraderie, once marked by laughter and shared stories, dissolved into fear and uncertainty. Shadowy figures, illuminated by the moon, danced around one of the mounds, invoking a long-forgotten ritual. Our joint remained unlit, forgotten in Jake's trembling hand. We couldn't tear our eyes from the haunting spectacle before us. The chant and the drums reached a climax, and then, as suddenly as they had begun, they faded away, and the figures disappeared into the night. The park fell into a silence so profound, it felt as though nothing had occurred. Mark lit the blunt, taking a long drag, exhaling a trembling breath. "We should probably get out of here." I nodded, my eyes fixed on the mounds. Our place of escape had been forever changed. We had witnessed something inexplicable, something beyond our understanding. Jake and I left the bench and retreated from the mounds, the echoes of the past forever etched in our minds. We never returned to the park after that night, respecting the ancient spirits that had revealed themselves to us. Nowadays, every time I see anyone on Instagram posting up the view at Mounds, I get the chills because although there were many fond memories, it only took one to ruin that place for me. Back in high school, I was going through a tough time. I had just obtained my driver's license, and like many, I relied on GPS to take me wherever I wanted to go. You know what it's like when you first get your license? The urge to stay home is practically non-existent. Weekends were dedicated to the search for parties, and my friends always managed to find rides to those social gatherings. Most weekends, I assumed the role of their designated driver, which I didn't mind at all. I believed that if anyone was going to be responsible, it had to be me. Party scenes didn't really enthrall me. I preferred finding serene spots to relax and collect my thoughts. I had heard intriguing stories about Indian Mounds Park and the alleged encounters with spirits or ghosts there. While the tales were captivating, I had no intention of visiting. I didn't even bother looking it up since I had no plans of going there alone. During those weekends, when I'd aimlessly explore or on school-free days, I'd take my car for a spin, cruising through St. Paul and nearby cities. Fishing was another hobby I relished. so scouting for new lakes to fish in became a delightful pastime. One Saturday morning, after a night of partying, I woke up early and decided to go for a run. As I jogged, I contemplated where to venture that day and which suburban area to become better acquainted with. After my run, I hopped into my car and set off. I meandered through familiar roads and neighborhoods, but eventually took turns onto unfamiliar ones, drawn by the allure of new discoveries. I found myself in a neighborhood I'd never seen before. Coming to a three-way intersection, I pondered whether to turn left or right. The road to the right led uphill, accompanied by a sign indicating a scenic view. I opted for the right turn and proceeded, even though the area was shrouded in thick fog. As I ascended, I spotted a scenic overlook to my left, featuring a bench atop a gently sloping hill. I parked my car on the side of the street and eagerly waited for the fog to dissipate. As I sat there, I couldn't help but think about the potential of this newfound spot. Minutes ticked away as I idly scrolled through my phone. Realizing I'd been staring at my device mindlessly, I decided to open the Maps app and pin my current location for future reference. However, when the map loaded and I saw the name of the park, Indian Mounds Regional Park, a wave of dread washed over me. I knew I'd made a grave mistake. Suddenly, an unsettling feeling of being watched gripped me, sending shivers down my spine. I sat frozen in my seat, scanning my surroundings with minimal movement. The fog obscured distant sights, but I began to hear the distant echoes of drums and chanting from the left. The eerie sounds grew louder, and panic set in. I had to get out of there, and without hesitation, I pulled out of the spot, flooring the gas pedal. I didn't turn back the way I'd come from. I just wanted to put as much distance between that place and me. As I drove down the road, I saw the sign for 94 East up ahead. I merged onto the highway, driving straight home. During that drive, I couldn't shake off the haunting chant from my mind. I was so spooked that the hairs on the back of my neck refused to settle. Not much transpired after that incident. I did, however, look up photos of the park, and it truly was a breathtaking place. Yet to this day, I've never mustered the courage to return. Maybe I should, but maybe I shouldn't. Thanks for tuning in once again. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe.